is following in the footsteps of two family members that he'll talk with you briefly about tonight. As you'll see, that's the only thing that makes Kevin a follower. Please, Kevin Ashimwe.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Ashimwe, and I'm currently a junior. I'm an exchange student from Rwanda, Africa. Both my older brother and my cousin, Pascal Rukundo, graduated from Chaminade in 2006 and 2011, respectively. First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank our benefactors and CCP Donor Committee for turning our dreams and aspirations into realities. Furthermore, for blessing us with such a revered quality of education like the one offered here at the prestigious campus of Chaminade. Please do note that my family and I appreciate and we are humbled with your acts of kindness. We will forever be grateful for what you have done for us and keep doing for us. When I first moved to the United States, I must admit it was not that easy to adapt to the new culture, and most importantly, to be able to study diligently away from my parents. I remember the most difficult task was doing our own laundry. Quite frankly, it may have seemed to us like an easy chore to do because we're used to let our parents do it for us, but let me assure you, it was not that easy. I believe my fellow friends will all agree with me on this. It was 9 years later I began to question the motives of my parents with questions like, why would they send me away into a country I knew no one? And if you think about this, you also see yourself asking questions like, did they not love me enough to let me grow up at home? At first glance, I began to resent them because I was naive and unable to foresee the goodness of their intentions. Nonetheless, I've grown wiser and became the man my parents dreamed of me becoming. All of this was because of Chaminade, because of you that have taken the time out of your lives to celebrate with us. I'm certainly looking forward to graduating at Chaminade and pursuing my studies at the collegiate level. I wish to help our young children in the future like me see what I've seen and experienced here at Chaminade. It has been truly a life-changing experience on many different levels, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, and physically. I would like to finish by saying, with your gracious efforts to help me receive a CCP education, I would like to say that I am proud to be part of the Chaminade family and will forever uphold myself to the code of Estover within my future endeavors. Thank you and God bless.
Tough act to follow, Nick. Next up is Nick Rizika. Nick is a junior that plays on our varsity basketball team. Nick is one of the many, many Rizikas that have been at Chaminade. Can we get the Rizikas to stand, please? Come on, Frank. Nick's dad, Frank, is also a member of the class of 1982. And honestly, he was our class president. I looked up to him then, I look up to him now. He's just a wonderful guy. Sure. The Rizikas are what I like to think of and call the heritage families at Chaminade. I mean, it is as much a part of their family as it is the Chaminade family, and it's families like them and the Schreibers and the Chiavettas and the Isaacs that really, really are the true blood and marrow of Chaminade. And Nick is the youngest, the most recent, and there's 10 Rizikas here tonight. The youngest for you now, Nick.
Like Mr. Vincent said, my name is Nick Rizika, and I'm the 18th member of my family to walk the halls of Chaminade. I remember the first time I came to Chaminade. It was a homecoming football game, and we were playing SLU. It was pouring down right outside, and the game was being delayed. So my dad showed me around. He took me to the alumni room, and I got to see his picture. And then... He had hair then, so... Then he introduced me to Mr. Mann, the middle school principal. And then finally, I just saw him and his buddies messing around like they used to in high school. Chaminade is a great school because it's founded on a great tradition, and I like to think that my family has played a pretty big part in that tradition. From the first Ruzicka, Frank, class of 1927, to my Uncle Ray, class of 1973, who not only won the Esto Beer Award, but also was part of the Chaminade State football team, and they made it to the finals. Most recently, my cousin Kevin, class of 2002, helped initiate the house system, which we still use today. My father, Frank, class president of 1982, so I have a lot to live up to. But I often remember my freshman class with Mr. Francis, class of 1970, where he taught me the true meaning of Esto Beer. In that class, I learned of Chaminade legends like Father Frischi and Brother Jurgens. I also heard tales of the haunted tunnels on the 4th floor. At my time here at Chaminade, I've seen the destruction of Waldron, the building of the Skip Beer Center, and I've celebrated the centennial. So I've lived a lot, but there's much more to come. And the thing that really makes Chaminade great is the people that have walked the halls before me, like the legendary coach Don Holmes, class of 1953. And we all hear the story about the troubled kid from Minnesota, Felix Keeney, first graduate. And then someday I'll be able to tell my son that I was in the PE class of Coach Kevin Brennan, class of 71, who has accumulated over 500 victories as a swim coach. And that I've been honored to share the court with one of the all-time greats, Bradley Beal, class of 2011. But most importantly, I'd like to thank you, the generous donors, for allowing Chaminade the opportunity for me. I have the privilege of receiving the Hastings and Chavetta Scholarship, which I am very grateful for. And with your contributions, I'll be able to graduate from Chaminade as Nick Ruzicka, class of 2013. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. All right, the guys pulled a switcheroo on me. They're changing the order for tonight. So Matt wants to go now. Okay. Matt and all the rest of the speakers are seniors. Matt is a house captain, and as you'll see in a minute, he's got kind of a quiet, humble style of leadership that I think truly embodies Esto Beer. He leads by example and action in a very humble way, much like his parents, Matt and Lisa, that are here with us tonight. And he's involved in many, many things, but the most high-profile thing that he does is he was a 3-year player on the varsity football team as a wide receiver. And in Matt's sophomore and junior year, we had a lot of success, and we won a lot of games. And being down in the field, Matt was always the most sincere in shaking hands with the other teams. When we had just beaten them down on Holmes Field, he was always, you could just tell, he was very sincere about it. Things didn't go exactly as well for the team this year, but when defeat came Matt's way, he was still the most sincere in shaking hands with the other team and congratulating them. I'm going to miss him, and I'm going to miss all the seniors. So, Matt Greer.
First of all, I want to say thank you for Mr. Vincent for selecting me to talk to you guys. It is really a great honor. But anyway, like he said, my name is Matthew Greer, and I'll be attending Drake University playing football there next year. First, I want to say thank you to all the donors and leaders here at Chaminade. I started at Chaminade my 8th grade year, where I transferred in from the Dexter Public Schools, located in a small town of southeast Missouri. Yeah, I was basically a redneck and came to the city. Although at the beginning it was a little intimidating, I knew it was at a special place, which I'm grateful to my parents and my grandparents giving me this opportunity. I believe the best way I can express what Chaminade means to me is simply spell out Chaminade. C, Christ. I appreciate the ability to worship God. I converted to Catholicism in my junior year. Thank you to Father Ralph, Father Oscar, and Mr. Keithley as my religion teacher and also my sponsor. H, honor. Honor the traditions here at Chaminade, teachers, and the donors of this great school. A, accountability. I appreciate the leaders of Chaminade for holding us individually accountable for all of our actions at school and within our community. M, mentors. Through the house system, we all had mentors and then become mentors ourselves. I'm proud to be a captain of the O'Donnell House, and we're actually in first place right now. I'm just throwing that out. is something that is not compromised nor taken for granted here at Chaminade. N, needy. Chaminade always encourages us to keep the less fortunate in our hearts through community services and service hours. A, academics and athletics. Our school provides a great balance of academics and athletics without accepting anything less than excellence, driven by our dedicated teachers and coaches. D, discipline. Our school, through challenges in the classroom, has forced me to be very disciplined with my time management skills. And lastly, E, expectation. This is a huge one for me and all my classmates. Chaminade sets at the very beginning their expectations for all of us to be men. SOBR. Once again, thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Matt. All right. Next up is senior Jeff Bain. Jeff starred in the production of Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat right here on this stage where you sit in our first big musical. How many people attended that production, by the way? Was that amazing? It was unbelievable. Jeff, not only shown on the stage, Jeff shines off the stage with the drama program because the lights that you have this evening were designed by Jeff. The lighting for Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, the sound for that play and many plays before, all done by Jeff. So you can see the impact of this wonderful art center on Jeff's life. When I first became aware of Jeff a few years ago, he was a humble, quiet, kind of shy guy. He really didn't talk much at all, and he was very comfortable being a behind-the-scenes guy. So after the production of Joseph, and at our first Friday Mass right after that, Jeff came to the podium, this very podium as a matter of fact, came to the podium and stood in front of the entire student body to thank them for coming and supporting he and his castmates and the people behind the scenes and the band and everyone that's involved with a play like that. And he gave the most poised speech you would ever hear. And it was just amazing to see the result of Chaminade on Jeff. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Bain.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Bain, and I'm a senior in McClare House. I would like to tell you a story about a historic event that took place on this stage at the beginning of this school year. During the last week of October, 60 individuals, including myself, took the stage to perform Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat for crowds totaling over 400 for each show. The support we received from the students, faculty, and alumni meant the world to me, and the cast and crew worked extremely hard. The Chaminade family was vital in helping us make the first production and the new Skip Bureau Center for the Arts an incredible experience. On the last show, night before the performance, it is custom for seniors to give speeches to the cast and crew regarding their time spent in the drama department. I didn't know how to put the feelings I had into words. They were indescribable. But I managed to come up with something. I told them the Chaminade Drama Department is who I am. I have been involved with 17 productions here at Chaminade. Whether I was acting or doing tech, I was having the time of my life. It has led me to what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, which is lighting design. I then proceeded to tell them that the people I have met have influenced me in ways you wouldn't believe. I will cherish the friendships I have made for the rest of my life. At the end of my speech, I gave the cast a word of advice that has been given to me many times by students before me. I told them to find something you love and don't let it go. I found the drama department in my 7th grade year, and I've not let it go since. High school has been rough, but I found a place where I feel comfortable, welcome, and not afraid to be who I am. A place only made possible through you. Later on that night, after the final performance, I took my final bow on a Chaminade stage with 4 incredible people I started my journey with. The journey consisted of a trip to London and Edinburgh for the American High School Theater Festival. And it even involved me being Jewish for 3 months on the hit musical Altar Boys. Most importantly, the journey led me to my future career. As I look forward to next year, I will be majoring in theatrical design and production with emphasis in lighting design. I don't know where I'm going to school yet, it's still to be determined, depending on some auditions I have later on this month. I wish to become a lighting designer for theatrical performances and eventually concerts. The experiences I've had due to the generosity of donors has given me a head start. I've been experimenting with lighting design throughout this entire year in this beautiful building, which it's hard to believe that we're at Chaminade right now. In fact, I light designed this entire dinner tonight, so any complaints you have for the brightness or heat. My high school experiences and the friendships I have made would not be possible without the support of the Chaminade family. So I would like to thank you personally for all your contributions. I consider myself lucky to be part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Our next senior is Jack Terschlutz. I mentioned earlier tonight that all of our speakers are excellent students. Jack is an exceptional student, as his proud parents, Jim and Amy, know. Jim and Amy are back here with us tonight. Jack swims. Yeah, sure. Jack swims, plays water polo, excels in his studies, keeps his little brother Joe, a 7th grader, here in line, and he's involved with many causes, particularly efforts to find a cure for diabetes. Why? Because Jack has type 1 diabetes. Does it hold him back? Not in any way. Jack has been granted early admission to Washington University. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Terschlutz.
Thanks, Mr. Vincent. I love Chaminade. I have a brother here, and I have had a lot of family that's gone here, and what I'm about to say comes from my heart. And I'm going to be going to WashU next year, and so you can clap for my parents for the tuition. And so I decided to come to Chaminade after I shadowed here, and I was in 5th grade at the time. And after meeting so many friendly people here and having lunch here, which was delicious, I knew I had to go to school here. It felt just right. And so I came in 6th grade, and now I'm a senior, and all the experience I've had have just been absolutely wonderful. And the editor of the newspaper on the swim team, and I'm just going to list some things for you that will explain to you why I love Chaminade. One, it's an academic powerhouse, and I know that you might not have seen it in the newsletter, but 32 of Chaminade seniors, including myself and my classmates, were granted Missouri Bright Flight scholarships for scoring very high on the ACT. And second, it's a faith-filled environment, which is a very special thing a student like me can say, because not many people can say you go to a school where you learn and pray at the same time, which is a very neat experience. To start class with a prayer, that's very special. And third, teachers aren't just teachers at Chaminade, and coaches aren't just coaches. They are mentors, and they give you advice that will stick with you for your entire life. And there are several men, even in this audience, that I would like to mention. Dr. Peters, Father Ralph, Mr. Denoyer, who's the newspaper moderator, Brother Epi, who's my math teacher. He taught me to persevere through some brutal calculus. And Coach KB, Kevin Brennan, we call him KB. He's just been so accommodating with my diabetes and swim practices, and words cannot express how, my experiences with him. And also I'd like to mention Mr. Bander. I don't know where he is. Right, okay. It's an interesting story because 2 weeks before I was to start school at Chaminade, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And so I had a drastic change in my life. I would have to do a lot of finger checks, a lot of insulin pump injections, you name it, the works. I had to stay on top of it with exercise and everything. And I'd like to thank my parents because they've been nothing but just truly amazing with everything. But so 2 weeks before I started Chaminade, I was diagnosed, and it was just a very difficult time in my life. And my parents didn't know if I should go to Chaminade because it would just been another thing to worry about in my life. But when I got here, the middle school was, words cannot express just how accommodating everyone was, and that goes for Mr. Bander and everyone in the room tonight. I would not be able to have done everything in my life if it wasn't for people in this room, Dr. Peters and Father Ralph. And thank you for putting these men into my life. It means so much to me, and I know they'll be with me my entire life. So thank you.
Next up is Senior House Captain Mark Mullen. Now, like Nick, Mark's dad is another member of the class of 1982. Nick knew he was coming to Chaminade no matter what, no other options, doesn't matter how many schools are in this town, he was coming here. Our friend Mark over here It was a little dicey. We didn't know because Mark had several classmates that were going to go to St. Louis U High. But Mark, I told you their response would be that. So despite the prodding of many members of the class of '82, Frank, Hef, myself, alumni director Jim Podlowski, with Mike, saying he can't go to SLU. He just can't. Mark ended up coming here to Chaminade, as you can see. I think you'll see based on how he talks that it worked out great for him and that it worked out great for us. Mark Mullen.
Thanks, Jeff. These lights are really bright. Just kidding. I'm pretty good looking. I'm glad they're bright. So as he said, my family is very involved in Chaminade. My dad, class of '82, seemed like a pretty rowdy crowd. My uncle, Mike McKee, some of you might know him. He was a football coach here for a long time. I had a number of cousins go here. My uncle Greg, also an alum. And they really just believed in the Chaminade mission. And I never really understood that growing up. I mean, to me it was, from time to time, my dad would lay me down when I was watching TV and made me do sit-ups to the letters of Chaminade, and I just thought, this is ridiculous. But I guess he just ingrained in my head from day one, maybe there really wasn't an option, and I'm just so thankful for that. I think Chaminade's such a great place for a number of reasons. I have a couple of examples. First of all, I'm in no way an exceptional athlete, but just in the past 10 seasons, 11 I guess, because this basketball season, I've played 9 sports. And anywhere else I'd gone, I would have gone, there's absolutely no way that would have been possible. And not only did I play these sports, I know a number of people that went to St. Louis U High, and you know what, I'm just going to sell them out. That's the school. I was going to be anonymous about it, but no. And so it was Chaminade's freshman football team against them, and they had 10 guys going both ways, 10 guys out of 11. And my dad was sitting in the stand with his friend who his son goes to SLU, and he said, this is ridiculous. And Chaminade, who had maybe a third of the total players on the team, had 22 guys in the field, 11, on offense, defense, and he just thought that was amazing. And to me, it's like it's been that way the entire time I've been here. I've been able to be involved in the band. It hasn't eaten up my life. I've been able to excel academically. Jack was generous enough to give me my own column in the Cardinal and White, which is really fun to write. And I think the amazing thing about it is that I'm in no way the exception at Chaminade. All the students are just that involved, and I think they all love it so much. It's a small place, and it's a family atmosphere. And the atmosphere of Chaminade is what makes it so great. For example, Mr. Michael Massa, he's a legend. He'll probably be just like Mr. Zolnowski in a few years. Please tell him I said that, especially the a few years part. We like to joke around with each other sometimes, if he's joking, I'm not really sure. And he's walking into school with, a tray full of coffees from Starbucks. I said, Mr. Massa, that's an awful lot of coffee. Do you hate your students that much? You need that much energy? He said, oh no, these are for Mrs. Bliss and Mrs. Cunningham in the office. And I thought, that was very nice of you, because in class, he's a little bit of a tough guy. I don't know how many of you guys' sons go through his class, but he's a little bit intimidating. And it really touched me in a way that maybe it shouldn't have, And I think all the teachers at Chaminade really believe in what they're doing. So any student here would love to say the same thing that I am. The 7 of us are just lucky enough to say it. I appreciate, maybe my parents even more so, I'm on the class of '82 scholarship, 2008 scholarship, so the benefactors, I know you're out there, thank you so much. Just from the bottom of my heart, all the time I've spent here, I'm so grateful that I didn't go to SLU, and that I came here, and I love it. And I hope that, as soon as possible, I'm sitting in those same chairs that you are, so thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And our final speaker of the night, now you wanted to go last, or actually your buddies voted you last, right? This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Is DeMonte Johnson. DeMonte is one of those students, as you can see, if you've had a chance to talk with him tonight, he just makes your day better when you see him. He's always smiling, he's always having fun, he's always enjoying Chaminade. Personally, my day is brighter whenever I see DeMonte, because where he is, I'll be like, hey, DeMonte. He's like, how's it going, Mr. Vincent? With a hand up high, big smile on his face. I'm going to miss that next year. DeMonte is involved in many things, including our retreat program, and he's very much in the drama program, and he is just a wonderful, wonderful person. DeMonte Johnson.
I said DeMonte Johnson, senior. When I was asked to come and speak tonight, I was trying to figure out what exactly am I going to say. I was thinking, why do I love Chaminade? Clearly I do, because I'm here giving up a Saturday night to talk to you all. Varsity track for the past 3 years, 4 musicals at Chaminade, and JV football sophomore year. So clearly I love being here. So I figured, what can I tell you all to really show how much I appreciate and love Chaminade? So I'm just going to tell you what Chaminade has brought me out of. So I'm going to tell you a little about my family life growing up. My family isn't one with much money at all. Growing up, we lived, somehow packed 17 people in a 4-bedroom house. Going to public school back then, I would be on the bus stop in a jacket no thicker than a flannel shirt, and snow would be up to my ankles. I was just freezing. Actually thinking about it, winters now aren't as cold as winters were back then. At all. But anywho, it was actually one of the rougher parts of North St. Louis where I grew up. One of my scariest memories that I have, I was 13 years old and I was sent across the street to get my 8-year-old brother and my 11-year-old sister from the neighbor's house. They go over there, she was an older lady, they just go over there and talk to her, make her day. So I walked over there, and as soon as I stepped in her front lawn, a car comes speeding down the street. A guy jumps out the car, gun in his hand, running straight towards me. I just run straight into Mrs. Virginia's house. That's the lady who they were over. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? And the first thing in my mind is just grab my brother, grab my sister, and just run straight for my house. So I get in there and I grab them and I tell them, we're going to run out here. Keep your head down and don't stop running until we get home. I look out the window and I didn't see anybody. I grab them and we take off. And as soon as we close the door behind us, cop car pulls up right in front of us. Cops jump out the car. Their guns are pointed right over us. The guy is standing right behind us. I take them and I throw them right to the ground and I just cover them. Guns going off for who knows how long. I can't remember. Honestly, it felt like days. 13 years old, and I had to protect my little brother and my little sister from being shot. I'll never forget that. But that was just a typical day growing up and where I lived. Years would go on, and around the corner, I would have two cousins and three family friends get shot and killed on the same corner. I would have a best friend who was like a brother to me. He was the reason why I tried so hard in school. Because let's just be honest, I'm not the type of guy to join a gang. I'm not the type of guy to fight, to do anything. So growing up in North St. Louis just wasn't the place for me. He was the reason I tried so hard in school. He told me just keep my mind on my education and I could do anything in my life. I could go far. He, a year older than me, and he knew how important education was and how I just did not fit into this gang mentality life. My big cousin, he started a gang, whatever, he can do that, that's him. That's not my life, that's not the life I wanted, and he knew that. Sophomore year, the very first day of school, he got shot and killed in a drive-by shooting that wasn't even meant for him. And right then and there, I thought my life was over. I'm done. Like, he was the reason I tried so hard, and he's gone. Why should I try anymore? And then it hit me. He wouldn't want that. He would want me to continue to succeed in life. So I did. So for the past 2 years of my life, everything I've done at Chaminade secretly has been dedicated to him. When I won a track event, I dedicated to him. When I passed a test, I dedicated to him. Chaminade has brought me out of the ugliest beginning of a life, the ugliest situation. And I'm just thankful, so thankful. that I did decide to come here, it's made the hugest impact on my life. It's brought me out of a really bad situation, and it's prepared me to go on and succeed. So in a little under 3 months now, I'll be the first person ever in my family to graduate high school and to go off to college. But that's just the first step, because I have 4 brothers, a little sister. I need to show them what they're supposed to do. So hopefully next year I'll be going to the University of Maryland in Baltimore County, where I'll choose to study biochemical engineering, and I'll be in school for a long time, but I mean, it's all to show them this is how you get out, this is how you change someone's life, and this is how you make a difference. And I owe it all to Chaminade for preparing me to be so ready for college. I've never felt so prepared in my life, and I can't wait to be able to sit where you all are sitting right now and to give back and to help someone who maybe grew up in a situation like me, someone who grew up in a situation like Kevin, anybody. Just help anybody get a Chaminade education. Thank you.
What can you say? I mean, people wonder why people choose to work in a place like Chaminade. Is these 7 guys and the other 780 guys with them that make us do it. One more round of applause for our students. Right after this, we keep referring to the class of '82. John Eilerman, Hef, Frank, Hud. I want to get a picture with our student speakers tonight. The class of '82 and the class of 2012, and then 2 guys from 2013. Okay, can we do that? Okay, cool. Real quick, I want to take this opportunity to thank the advancement team here at Chaminade. We work hard together. We accomplish great things, but it's amazing what we do when we work together, and there's a few of us here. Michelle Ostermuller, if you please stand. Michelle Renner, if you please stand. Jim Lebowski. And then your hostess for tonight, the one that puts all of this together, Miss Jan Kramer.
Wasn't this so fun? When we first talked about having the event over here, and Michelle and I talked about doing it on the stage, I kind of was unsure if they would really let me do it. And then when I talked to Joe, he said, "Oh, sure, I've seen that done before," so that sort of burst my bubble because I thought I had a great idea. But he said, "Oh, sure, we can do it," and the idea that we can really fit 200 people on the stage, and today when I was doing centerpieces and everything, I was so darned excited for you all to get here, I could hardly wait. So anyway, thank you so much, and I think this was really great, and we are so grateful for your continued support. And I love this night because by having our stars, which you are the stars of Chaminade, but these are indeed our young upcoming superstars, and it really is kind of a reinforcement to all of us of what we do every day and the impact that it has and how great these guys are turning out. I also want to acknowledge John Schweiss, who's back there. And once again, John isn't on stage, he's back there, but he's been all night doing the soundboard and everything else. And there was another student, Zach Kelly, who really helped him. And behind the scenes is Joe and Adrian, who have been making the magic happen here because they actually keep everything together at the Vera Center, which has become a very large job because everyone loves the place so much and everybody wants to use it. So a special thanks to them as well. And we're going to have some folks in my department and some of the students, if people want to have a tour, because many of you haven't been here before. And if you see the classrooms and some of the other, the ceramic studio and the practice rooms for the band and everything, it really is very, very cool. So if you'd like to stay and do that, that's fine. But our dinner and our evening are actually complete. And I just wanted to tell you to mark your calendars for January 26, 2013. And hopefully the stage will be a little more crowded, but we'll all be back here. Thank you.